how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about the very shocking episode 12 of Oshi Season 2. So, what do you think about this week's episode? Honestly, I think this week's episode was wonderful. I think it did a great job at establishing Aqua's character, as well as giving him some more depth into his whole character and a little bit of insight into his backstory, as well as we get some more character development with Ruby as well, which is great because she's kind of been in the sidelines this entire season. So it's great to see that she's actually getting some time to shine, especially towards the end of the episode, where there's a big implication that will affect the remaining of the story involving her character, which I'm very excited to talk about. Now, before I go any further with this week's episode, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Oshinoko, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. So this week's episode starts off where we see a little bit of a flashback scene involving, Ruby back when she was the Selena, I forget the girl's name, but when she was the hospital patient girl, and she's having a nice flashback about, the doctor, which was obviously Aqua, and herself. And then we cut back to reality where we see that they're ready to go for this trip, as we see Ma'am talking to the music video producer lady. They're ready to shoot videos for the new song, but she also tells Ma'am hey, you guys can actually shoot 2 songs if you guys want, might as well if you guys are here. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, let's go. So they get they're ready to start traveling. And the second that Kana's excited for all this, and what happens, she sees that Akane is coming, so it ruins her entire trip. And also, to put the big sting in the, if the pain wasn't this bad enough already, the thing that stings the most is the fact that Ruby is calling Akane big sis, and she's complimented her like, oh, you're so pretty, I'm such a big fan, big sis. And obviously Kana, she's down bad tremendously. Listen, as a Kana stan, a big Kana fanboy, we took an L this episode, boys. We took the L. All right, I'll hand it. I'll take it. We took the L this week's episode because Akane, she got to spend most of the episode with Aqua. And what we see is that pretty much once they do get there, they're ready to start shooting. So they're like, okay, let's begin shooting. And they start recording, and they get right to it. And we see the lady, she's like, okay, Kana, give me your best your best shot. It's like, pretend that the guy you like is in front of you. And we also see that pretty much Aqua is chilling with Akane throughout it all, because it's like, they're gonna be busy shooting, so whatever. And an interesting thing to note is that they went to the place that the doctor used to live, where Aqua in his previous life, where they used to live at. So you see Serena, I think that's her name, Ruby, she was also in that town too. So when they go there, they're both like, oh, it's poetic that we would go there again, which is something I didn't catch when they hinted at it last week's episode. So it was cool seeing that they're back at their hometown, very reminiscent of their past lives. And we see that pretty much Aqua just tells Akane is it cool if we go to the hospital? And she's like, are you sick? I was like, no, I just want to go there and ask for somebody. So they go there. Obviously, he asks about himself, his name, when he was a doctor, and nobody knows anything. And then another thing that makes him sad is that, it's been 15 years after all. So, a lot of stuff has changed ever since then. The people, they don't live there no more. It's the people that used to work there, they're no longer working there. Probably they changed jobs or whatever the situation. The point of the matter is that they're no longer there, and that's pretty sad. The last remnants of his previous life is pretty much gone. And as they continue to walk together, Aqua starts opening up more with Akane, and she's like, hey, I know this one place, let's go check it out. And it's obviously his old place from his previous life. He goes there, it's like, yeah, it's a person that I knew, a family member, his friend or whatever. So he gets there and he starts talking about describing the doctor's life. And we see that apparently the doctor's mom passed away during childbirth because she decided to give birth at her home, which is a very risky, and I would not recommend anybody to do that. But it's a very risky process, and she ended up passing away from losing too much blood. And we see that pretty much you see a little bit of insight of his previous life, where we see that apparently he was staying with his grandparents. His grandma was always pretty nice to him, but his grandpa hated him, or he disliked him, to the sense because thanks to him, his daughter died, so it was very sad, how he didn't have a mom. And then it really explains why he's so attached to Ai, because it's the closest thing he has to a mother. And it's been pretty obvious up to this point in the story that Aqua definitely has a lot of mommy issues, and this week's episode really solidifies that. And we also see that this beautiful scene with the doctor talking to the patient girl, which was Ruby, about, hey, gosh, when she was passing away, like, her parents were busy working. He's like, how can they like leave their daughter to die just by herself? So he goes there, spends the last seconds with her, her last living moments, and he gets a keychain from her. It's like, make sure you make sure that this thing is the most precious thing you have. Like, treasure it as much as if it were me. And he treasures it. It's a very sad scene, a very emotional scene. And after that, we cut back to the girls shooting, and we see that they're all back, getting dressed up. They're all singing, dancing around. And then the funny part was that Akane, she stumbles upon, she has like this mean, evil looking, and Aqua was like, oh, here we go. It's gonna be drama already. And then Kana's like, you're doing all this wrong, Kana. And to be fair, she does fix her drip, because apparently Kana had wrinkles. She was tying up her wardrobe bad. Like, she got like the minute details. She did not nail them at all. So thankfully Akane was there, and she was able to fix her wardrobe. And she's like, don't make it harder for these people that are working. And as an actress, it makes sense that she would know this, because she's dealt with this multiple times as well. So it was cool seeing that, her also fangirling within, like, in her mental state, because Aqua was like, wow, this fangirl, obviously she's a hater now, but I'm sure inside of her head she's like having a blast, just like fixing up Kana's outfit, because obviously she looks up to Kana and all that. So it was a nice little imagery of that. And then we see that Mam is sticking behind, and you see that pretty much the manager, she's taking care of all the expenses, which is a lot. I think it was like 5 million yen or something like that for a music video shoot kind of thing. So she's the goat for doing this. She's great. And then how the episode ends is we start nearing the end, where we see Akane and Ruby, how they're taking a liking to each other, and they're like, okay, let's go walk around, because apparently something gets stolen from Ruby. And she's like, what is this? Like, a crow randomly steals a thing, which, by the way, I needed to point out that earlier in the episode there was like a chick chilling around with some crows. Like, I don't know what her deal is, but just might be some supernatural thing, I don't know. But she was like talking very mystique about gods and all that, and souls. So who knows, maybe she's a god. I'm assuming she probably is. But what we see is that this crow, she steals something from Ruby. Eventually they go chase off the crow, try to get it back. And during the pretty much them walking, Ruby starts opening up to Akane about, like, pretty much her feelings to the doctor. And then this was out of left pocket. I mean, she's like, so, I'll always love this guy, he's so great. And it's like, oh, that's cool. It's like, yeah. And then she's like, Akane, what do you think about age gaps? Is that like a bad thing? It's like, whoa, what are you talking about? How old are we talking about? And he's like, no, he's older than me for sure. It's like, well, as long as he's not no more than 10 years, I don't see what, as long as they have a youthful mind, I don't see what's wrong with it. I was like, Akane, what are you talking about? Like, if you do some math, lady, if the doctor was in his, like, I don't know, early 30s, it's been 15 years, what is he, 45? Maybe early 40s at best, and you're talking about, be wholesome, youthful in mind. I was like, yo, you gotta look up Akane. She got that May tendencies from JJK, all right? She gotta look her up. I was like, yo, Akane, you out of left pocket for that, all right? But how the episode ends on a serious note is, we see Ruby having this imagery of the doctor reuniting with him, marrying him and all that. Very, it's her sweet dream and all that. But then we see that they go into this cave because the crow was there. And what do they find in that cave? They find the doctor's corpse. So the corpse that Aqua was actually looking for earlier in the episode, we do find out the remains of it. And they're there. And obviously Ruby's devastated by it. And it was a very shocking moment. I myself didn't expect them to find that. I'll be very scared if I was them. But yeah, that's how the episode ends, in a very shocking and very sad note, because for Ruby, this is devastating. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Oshinoko, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.